In which year were the songs at numbers 30, 20 and 10 in this week's chart? Love's Great Adventure by Ultravox, Freedom by Wham, and Caribbean Queen No More Love on the Run by Billy Ocean. Which year?
83.
1 year! All right, it was 84. I'm sorry. Okay, in which year did this week's top three have Do the Bartman by The Simpsons at number 3, Innuendo by Queen at number 2, and 3 AM Eternal by KLF featuring the Children of the Revolution at number 1?
1990.
Oh, it's 1 year! I'm afraid 1991. 91, bad luck. In which year did this week's top three have Get Ready for This by 2 Unlimited at number 3, Dizzy by Vic Reeves and the Wonder Stuff at number 2, and The Fly by U2 at number 1? Which year?
I'm going to say 1992.
Oh, it's 1 year out. 91. It was 1991. In which year did this week's top three have We Don't Need Another Hero, Thunderdome by Tina Turner at number 3, There Must Be an Angel Playing With My Heart by Eurythmics at number 2, and Into the Groove by Madonna at number 1?
84.
Oh, 1 year out! It's 85. I'm sorry. In which year did this week's top three have Every Day Hurts by Sad Cafe at number 3, When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman by Dr. Hook at number 2, and One Day at a Time by Lena Martell at number 1?
Oh dear. 78.
Oh, 1 year out. So close. 79 it was. That's very bad luck. Okay, in which year did these three songs all reach number 1? Against All Odds by Mariah Carey featuring Westlife, Independent Women Part 1 by Destiny's Child, and Can We Fix It by Bob the Builder?
2001.
1 year out. I'm afraid it was the year. It was 2000. It was 2000.
Okay.
In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? If by Telly Savalas, January by Pilot, and I'm Not in Love by 10cc.
1974.
Oh, it's 1 year out. Just 1 year out.
73.
But close. No, the other way. 75. 75. In which year were the songs at numbers 30, 20 and 10 in this week's chart? The Day That Curly Billy Shot Down Crazy Sam McGee by The Hollies, Do You Want to Dance by Barry Blue, and Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John?
72.
Oh, 1 year out. Oh, very bad luck. 73.
Oh.
It was. That's bad luck. In which year were the songs at 30, 20 and 10 in this week's chart? Missing Words by The Selecter, All Night Long by Rainbow, and Turn It On Again by Genesis?
Get up, take 79.
Oh, it's 1 year out. Oh, 1980. 1980. Okay. Bad luck. In which year did this week's top three have Breaking Up Is Hard to Do by the Partridge Family at number 3, Seaside Shuffle by Terry Dactyl and the Dinosaurs at number 2, and School's Out by Alice Cooper at number 1?
1973.
Oh, it's 1 year out, I'm afraid. No. 72. Sorry.
Okay.
Right, in which year did this week's top three have The Bangin' Man by Slade at number 3, Kissin' in the Back Row of the Movies by the Drifters at number 2, and She by Charles Aznavour at number 1?
1973.
Oh, it's 1 year out. Sorry. 74. 1974.
Okay.
In which year did this week's top three have There's a Ghost in My House by R. Dean Taylor at number 3, Hey Rock and Roll by Shawaddy Waddy at number 2, and The Streak by Ray Stevens at number 1?
75.
Oh, 1 year out. I'm afraid it was 74. 74. That's bad luck. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? Jealous Mind by Alvin Stardust, Gonna Make You a Star by David Essex, and Annie's Song by John Denver?
75.
Oh, 1 year out. Oh, 74. It was 74. Bad luck. In which year were these three songs all new entries on this week's Top 40? Girls and Boys by Prince and the Revolution, When I Think of You by Janet Jackson, and Glory of Love by Peter Cetera?
1987.
Oh, 1 year out. 86. Bad luck. Very bad luck. Okay, in which year did these three songs all reach number 1? Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys, All or Nothing by the Small Faces, and You Don't Have to Say You Love Me by Dusty Springfield.
67.
Oh, 1 year out! Oh no! 66 it was. Oh, that's very bad luck. Very bad luck.
Dear.
In which year did this week's top three have My Friend Stan by Slade at number 3, the double A-side Daydreamer and the Puppy Song by David Cassidy at number 2, and Eye Level by the Simon Park Orchestra at number 1?
74.
Oh, 1 year out! That's bad luck. Oh, terrible.
75.
73, actually, the other way.
Oh,
the other
okay.
way.
I would have gone the other way.
Very bad luck. In which year did this week's top three have Walk in the Black Forest by Horst Jankowski at number 3, Help by the Beatles at number 2, and I Got You Babe by Sonny and Cher at number 1?
I think that was 1964, Ken.
Oh, it's 1 year out. I'm clutching my forehead. That's bad luck. Terrible bad luck. 1965 was the right year. In which year were these three singles all new entries on this week's Top 40? Rocket by Mud, Rock the Boat by the Hughes Corporation, and Amateur Hour by Sparks. Which year?
75.
1 year out, I'm afraid. 74. I'm very sorry. Okay, in which year were the songs at number 30, 20, and 10 in this week's chart? Stay With Me Till Dawn by Judy Took, If I Had You by the Corgis, and Breakfast in America by Supertramp. Which year?
1978.
Oh, it's 1 year out. I'm sorry. 1979 was the year. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? The Joker by the Steve Miller Band, Tears on My Pillow by Kylie Minogue, and Show Me Heaven by Maria McKee.
1991.
Oh, if you'd stopped at 90, you'd have been right. 1 year out, I'm
1
afraid.
year out.
1990. Sorry. In which year were these three songs all new entries on this week's Top 40? Laughter in the Rain by Neil Sedaka, Too Big by Suzi Quatro, and Banana Rock by the Wombles.
Oh, I'm going to say 73.
1 year out, I'm afraid. 74. It was 1974. In which year did this week's top three have Perfect Moment by Martine McCutcheon at number 3, Right Here, Right Now by Fatboy Slim at number 2, and Swear It Again by Westlife at number 1? Which year?
Okay, I'm working on that. 98.
99, I'm afraid you're 1 year out.
no,
I'm sorry.
right.
Very bad luck. Very bad luck. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? It's Not Unusual by Tom Jones, The Last Time by the Rolling Stones, and Help by the Beatles.
1966.
Oh, it's 1 year out again. I was sure you were going to get it. No, 1965. I'm sorry. In which year did this week's top three have Zoom by Fat Larry's Band at number 3, The Bitterest Pill I Ever Had to Swallow by The Jam at number 2, and Pass the Dutchie by Musical Youth at number 1?
1981.
Oh, it's 1 year out, I'm afraid. It was 1982. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? How Deep Is Your Love by Take That, Spaceman by Babylon Zoo, and Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis.
97.
1 year out, I'm afraid. No, they were all number 1 in 1996.
It's amazing how your mind goes blank, isn't it?
I know. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? Love Won't Wait by Gary Barlow, The Drugs Don't Work by The Verve, and Bop by Hanson.
Is this a guess? I'll go for 96.
Oh, it's 1 year out. It's 97, I'm afraid. Bad luck.
Okay.
In which year were these three songs all new entries on this week's Top 40? Every Day is Like Sunday by Morrissey, Don't Blame It on That Girl by Matt Bianco, and You Have Placed a Chill in My Heart by Eurythmics. Which year?
1987.
Oh, it's 1 year out, I'm afraid. No, 88. Close. But no smoking materials. Right, 1988 it was. So, in which year did this week's top three have You Don't Have to Go by the Chi-Lites at number 3, Let 'Em In by Wings at number 2, and Dancing Queen by ABBA at number 1?
77.
Oh, it's 1 year out. It's 76. That's very bad luck. In which year were the songs at numbers 30, 20 and 10 in this week's chart? Romeo by Mr. Big, New Kid in Town by the Eagles and Suspicion by Elvis Presley.
76.
Oh, 1 year out, I'm afraid. I'm afraid it was 77. Very bad luck. Very bad luck. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? Vertigo by U2, I'll Stand By You by Girls Aloud, and These Words by Natasha Bedingfield.
2003.
Oh, 1 year out. 2004. Very bad luck. In which year did this week's top three have...
Oh, dear.
Beep by Pussycat Dolls featuring Will.i.am at number 3, No Tomorrow by Orson at number 2, and It's Chico Time by Chico at number 1. Which year?
2007.
1 year out, I'm afraid. Oh, 2006. Bad
I
luck.
was going to say 2006.
Oh, that's very bad luck. Okay, in which year did this week's top three have The Story of the Blues by Wah at number 3, Down Under by Men at Work at number 2, and You Can't Hurry Love by Phil Collins at number 1?
1982.
It's 1 year out, I'm afraid. Oh, sorry. 83.
I forget about the year.
In which year did this week's top three have I Love You Baby by Original at number 3, Roll With It by Oasis at number 2, and Country House by Blur at number 1?
1996.
Oh, it's 1 year out. 95, I'm afraid. Sorry. Never mind. In which year did this week's top three have Sideshow by Barry Biggs at number 3, Don't Cry For Me Argentina by Julie Covington at number 2, and Don't Give Up On Us by David Soul at number 1?
1976.
Oh, it's 1 year out. It's 77, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Bad luck. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? Welcome Home by Peters and Lee, Squeeze Me Please Me by Slade, and The 12th of Never by Donny Osmond.
1972.
Oh, it's 1 year out again.
I knew it.
73 it was. Okay. In which year did this week's top three have Sign Your Name by Terence Trent D'Arby at number 3, I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany at number 2, and Heaven Is a Place on Earth by Belinda Carlisle at number 1?
I will go for 1989.
Oh, it's 1 year out, I'm afraid. No, 88. It was 1988. Okay, in which year were these three songs all new entries on this week's top 40? Club Tropicana by Wham, Freak by Bruce Foxton, and Big Log by Robert Plant. Which year?
I'm going to go 84.
Oh, it's 1 year out. I'm so sorry. 83. It was 1983. Bad luck. In which year did this week's top three have Walk of Life by Dire Straits at number 3, Only Love by Nana Mouskouri at number 2, and The Sun Always Shines on TV by A-ha at number 1?
That would have been...
5, 4, 3.
Quickly.
I'll go for 85.
Oh, it's 1 year. 86. 86. I'm sorry.
Okay.
In which year were these three songs all new entries on this week's top 40? Last Night on Earth by U2, Picture of You by Boyzone, and Everybody Backstreet's Back by the Backstreet Boys. Which year?
1996.
Oh, 1 year. It's
dear.
97. Very bad luck.
Oh dear.
In which year did this week's top three have Maybe Tomorrow by the Stereophonics at number 3, Crazy in Love by Beyonce at number 2, and Never Gonna Leave Your Side by Daniel Bedingfield at number 1? Which year?
2004.
Oh, 1 year out again. Oh dear, 2003. It was 2003. Very bad luck. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? Stay With Me by Sam Smith, Sing by Ed Sheeran, and Do They Know It's Christmas by Band-Aid 30.
2015.
Oh, it's 1 year out. I'm afraid. 2014. In which year were the songs at number 30, 20 and 10 in this week's chart? When Will I See You Again by the 3 Degrees, Machine Gun by the Commodores, and Queen of Clubs by Casey and the Sunshine Band?
1973.
1 year out. Only 1 year out, I'm afraid. Bad luck. 74.
No, year I was born.
In which year were the songs at numbers 30, 20 and 10 in this week's chart? My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion, Truly Madly Deeply by Savage Garden, and How Do I Live by Leanne Rimes.
That was the year before I left school, I believe, 97.
Oh, it's 1 year out.
No.
It was the year you left. It was
98.
98. So, bad luck. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? The Shoop Shoop song It's In His Kiss by Cher, Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash, and The Fly by U2. Which year?
No, 1992.
Oh, 1 year, I'm afraid. Oh, 91. It was 1991. Very bad luck. In which year did this week's top 3 have Love Machine by The Miracles at number 3, Forever and Ever by Slick at number 2, and Mamma Mia by ABBA at number 1?
1975.
Oh, 1 year! Oh dear. 76.
It was 76.
Yeah, bad luck. In which year did this week's top 3 have Give Me Just a Little More Time by Kylie Minogue at number 3, Twilight Zone by 2 Unlimited at number 2, and Goodnight Girl by Wet 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 at number 1?
1991.
It's 1 year, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, it's 1992.
Okay.
In which year were the songs at numbers 30, 20 and 10 in this week's chart? You Are My World by the Communards, Cloud Busting by Kate Bush, and Election Day by Arcadia.
1986.
1 year out, I'm afraid. Sorry, 85. Bad luck. In which year did these 3 songs all reach number 1? Paradise by Coldplay, Candy by Robbie Williams, and Gangnam Style by Psy.
2011.
Oh, it's 1 year.
Oh, no.
Do you know, I was willing you to do 12, but I felt you nearly did there. 2012 is the answer. Bad luck on that. In which year were the songs at number 30, 20 and 10 in this week's chart? It's All in the Game by the Four Tops, Love is Life by Hot Chocolate, and I'll Say Forever My Love by Jimmy Ruffin. Which year?
Oh, I should know this. 69.
Oh, it's 1 year out, I'm afraid. It's 1970. I'm very sorry.
Bother.
Oh, bother indeed. Well, very restrained. In which year did this week's top 3 have Always Look on the Bright Side of Life by Monty Python at number 3, Wind of Change by the Scorpions at number 2, and Everything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams at number 1?
1992.
Oh! 1 year out. It was 1991, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. In which year did this week's top 3 have I Just Called to Say I Love You by Stevie Wonder at number 3, Agadoo by Black Lace at number 2, and Careless Whisper by George Michael at number 1?
83.
1 year! I'm afraid it was 84. Bad luck. In which year did this week's top 3 have Say What You Want by Texas at number 3, Professional Widow, It's Got to Be Big by Tori Amos at number 2, and Your Woman by White Town at number 1? Which year?
1996.
Oh, it's 1 year! Oh, 97. I'm sorry. Okay, in which year did this week's top 3 have Sound of the Underground by Girls Aloud at number 3, Year 3000 by Busted at number 2, and Stop Living the Lie by David Snedden at number 1?
2002.
Oh, it's 1 year!
Oh, never.
No, 2003.
Oh, never.
Oh, very bad luck. Okay, in which year did these 3 songs all reach number 1? Night Fever by the Bee Gees, Take a Chance on Me by ABBA, and Do You Think I'm Sexy by Rod Stewart?
77.
Ah! 1 year out. 78. 1978. Sorry. In which year were the songs at 30, 20 and 10 in this week's chart? Wordy Rapping Hood by Tom Tom Club, No Woman No Cry by Bob Marley and the Wailers, and Will You by Hazel O'Connor?
82.
Oh, 1 year out.
I get
Oh.
the T-shirt.
You got it. Well, maybe you haven't got it, of course, if you do too well. 1981 was the year. In which year did this week's top three have Rodrigo's Guitar Concerto de Aranjuez by Manuel and His Music of the Mountains at number 3, I Love to Love But My Baby Loves to Dance by Tina Charles at number 2, and December 1963 Oh What a Night by the Four Seasons at number 1?
75.
Oh, it's 1 year out.
Oh, no.
It's 76. I'm sorry. In which year were these three songs all new entries on this week's top 40? D-I-V-O-R-C-E by Tammy Wynette, Mama Never Told Me by Sister Sledge, and Faux D.O.D. by the Rubettes. Which year?
1976.
Oh, that's 1 year out. Oh, I'm sorry. 75. It was 1975. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore by the Walker Brothers, Distant Drums by Jim Reeves, and Somebody Help Me by the Spencer Davis Group.
Say maybe 65.
Oh, it's 1 year out. Oh, painful. 1966. Bad luck, very bad luck, so close. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? Babe by Take That, I'd Do Anything for Love But I Won't Do That by Meatloaf, and Mr. Blobby by Mr. Blobby.
I think it's 91 or 92.
Sorry, another year out. It was 93, I'm afraid. Bad luck, 93.
Do you think I could just say 1965 so that you could say 1 year out?
You could try.
Right, 1965.
1 year out!
Oh, made my day.
76 was 10 years out. Don't worry. Right. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? Eye Level by the Simon Park Orchestra, Come On Feel the Noise by Slade, and the double A side, Daydreamer and the Puppy Song by David Cassidy.
I'm going to go for 74, Ken.
You're 1 year out, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. It's 73. 1973. Bad luck. Very bad luck. All right, here's a Guess the Year question. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? Something Stupid by Nancy Sinatra and Frank Sinatra, Hello Goodbye by the Beatles, and Puppet on a String by Sandy Shaw.
Oh, should we go for something like 68?
Oh, it's 1 year out. 1 year out. So close.
That's made me so happy.
Oh, well, at least you've got 1 year out. Yes. 67 was the year. Right. Okay. Now, I'm sure you'll get this one. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? Tiger Feet by Mud, Seasons in the Sun by Terry Jacks, and Love Me for a Reason by the Osmonds.
73.
Oh, it's 1 year out! It's 74.
Oh.
Right. In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? Are You Ready for Love by Elton John, Slow by Kylie Minogue, and Beautiful by Christina Aguilera.
That's going to be 2002.
Oh, 1 year out, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. 2003. In which year did this week's top 3 have Wipeout by the Fat Boys and the Beach Boys at number 3, What Have I Done to Deserve This by the Pet Shop Boys and Dusty Springfield at number 2, and Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley at number 1? Which year?
1980.
Come on. No, it's 1 year out, I'm afraid. I thought you were going to get it. 87. It was 87. I thought you were. Never mind. In which year did this week's top 3 have Bad by Michael Jackson at number 3, Full Metal Jacket, I Want to Be Your Drill Instructor by Abigail Mead and Nigel Golding at number 2, and Pump Up the Volume by Mars at number 1?
Is it 1988?
Oh, it's 1 year out. So close. 87. Bad luck. In which year did this week's top 3 have Indiana Wants Me by R. Dean Taylor at number 3, I Did What I Did for Maria by Tony Christie at number 2, and Knock 3 Times by Dawn at number 1?
1972.
Oh, it's 1 year out. I thought you were going to get it. 71. Very bad luck.
Dear.
Very bad luck. In which year were the songs at numbers 30, 20 and 10 in this week's chart? Requiem by Slick, More by Andrea True Connection, and Arms of Mary by the Sutherland Brothers and Quiver.
1975. 75.
Ah, it's 1 year out again. It is 76, it was. Very bad luck. In which year did this week's top 3 have Boogie Nights by Heatwave at number 3, When I Need You by Leo Sayer at number 2, and Chanson d'Amour by Manhattan Transfer at number 1?
1976.
Oh, 1 year out. Oh, 1 year out. 77 it was. Bad luck.
Oh.
Bad luck. Okay, in which year did these 3 songs all reach number 1? Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor, The Power by Snap, and Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice.
91.
Oh, 1 year out. It was 1990. Bad luck. In which year did these 3 songs all reach number 1? Kung Fu Fighting by Carl Douglas, Sad Sweet Dreamer by Sweet Sensation, and Billy Don't Be a Hero by Paper Lace.
1975.
Oh, it's 1 year out. It's 74. I'm sorry.
Oh,
bad
no.
luck. Very bad luck. In which year did these 3 songs all reach number 1? Frozen by Madonna, All That I Need by Boyzone, and Viva Forever by the Spice Girls.
97.
Oh, it's 1 year out. It's 98. 1998. In which year did this week's top 3 have Lean On Me by Club Nouveau at number 3, La Isla Bonita by Madonna at number 2, and Let It Be by Ferry Aid at number 1? Which year?
5, 3,
Quickly.
86.
Oh, it's 1 year out. It's 87. 87, I'm afraid. Very bad luck. In which year did this week's top 3 have Silly Love Songs by Wings at number 3, You To Me Are Everything by The Real Thing at number 2, and Combine Harvester by The Wurzels at number 1?
1975.
It's 1 year out, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. 76.
Oh, good. I was my second guess or something.
Yeah, that's a good one. Right, in which year did these 3 songs all reach number 1? Shine by Take That, Ruby by Kaiser Chiefs, and About You Now by Sugar Babes.
Was that 2008?
It's 1 year out, I'm afraid. Oh, it's 2007. I'm sorry. In which year did these 3 songs all reach number 1? Grace Kelly by Mika, Shine by Take That, and What a Wonderful World by Eva Cassidy and Katie Melua.
2006.
Oh, 1 year out. I'm afraid it's 2007. 2007. Bad luck. Bad luck. Which of
I only
these?
want to decide that Ken anyway. So.
All right, there you are. You've had your moment now. In which year did this week's top 3 have Theme from S Express by S Express at number 3, Love Changes Everything by Climby Fisher at number 2, and Heart by Pet Shop Boys at number 1?
Let's try about 1987.
Oh, it's 1 year out again. 88.
Oh, good.
1988. Very bad luck. In which year did this week's top 3 have Start by The Jam at number 3, Winner Takes It All by ABBA at number 2, and Ashes to Ashes by David Bowie at number 1?
I'm going to go 79.
Oh, it's 1 year out.
you're joking.
Oh, it was 1980. Sorry. In which year were these 3 songs all new entries on this week's top 40? Down Deep Inside, the theme from The Deep by Donna Summer, Oxygen Part 4 by Jean-Michel Jarre, and Gary Gilmore's Eyes by The Adverts.
1978.
Oh, you're 1 year out. Just 1 year out. Bad luck. 77. It was 77. Okay, in which year did this week's top 3 have Love in the First Degree by Bananarama at number 3, Faith by George Michael at number 2, and You Win Again by the Bee Gees at number 1?
88.
Oh, 1 year out, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. 87. Bad luck. In which year did this week's top 3 have Love Really Hurts Without You by Billy Ocean at number 3, You See the Trouble With Me by Barry White at number 2, and Save Your Kisses For Me by Brotherhood of Man at number 1?
1977.
Oh, it's 1 year out.
Oh.
It's 76. It's 1976. Bad luck. In which year did these 3 songs all reach number 1? It's Raining Men by Jerry Halliwell, Can't Get You Out of My Head by Kylie Minogue, and the double A side Eternity and the Road to Mandalay by Robbie Williams.
2000.
Oh, 1 year out this time. 2001. I'm sorry. In which year did this week's top 3 have Can Can by Bad Manners at number 3, Ghost Town by The Specials at number 2, and One Day in Your Life by Michael Jackson at number 1? Which year?
1980?
Oh, it's one! Again, I'm sorry.
It was 1 year out.
81. It was 1981. In which year did this week's top 3 have DISCO by Ottawan at number 3, Master Blaster Jammin' by Stevie Wonder at number 2, and Don't Stand So Close to Me by The Police at number 1?
1979.
Oh, it's 1 year out! I'm afraid. Oh, it's 1980. I'm so sorry. In which year did these 3 songs all reach number 1? We Don't Talk Anymore by Cliff Richard, Ring My Bell by Anita Ward, and Bright Eyes by Art Garfunkel.
1978.
1 year! I'm so sorry. No, 79.
79.
Very bad luck. In which year did these 3 songs all reach number 1? Chanson d'amour by Manhattan Transfer, Knowing Me, Knowing You by ABBA, and Free by Denise Williams.
1976.
Oh, it's 1 year out. It was 77, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Very bad luck. In which year did these 3 songs all reach number 1? In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry, The Wonder of You by Elvis Presley, and Yellow River by Christie.
1971.
Oh, it's 1 year out!
No.
It was 1970. I'm sorry. I am sorry. In which year were the songs at numbers 30, 20, and 10 in this week's chart? Incommunicado by Marillion, A Boy From Nowhere by Tom Jones, and Wishing I Was Lucky by Wet, Wet, Wet.
1988.
Oh, 1 year out. That's very bad luck. Sorry. 87. In which year did this week's top 3 have Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba at number 3, Men in Black by Will Smith at number 2, and The Drugs Don't Work by The Verve at number 1?
Oh, it's late 90s. I'd say 1990.
Come on. No, sorry. It's 1 year out. 1 year out. It's 97. Bad luck. Bad luck. In which year did these 3 singles all reach number 1? Flying Without Wings by Westlife, Baby One More Time by Britney Spears, and a double A-side, She's the One and It's Only Us by Robbie Williams. Which year?
2000.
1 year! It was 1999, I'm afraid. Very bad luck. In which year did this week's top 3 have Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bangles at number 3, You Keep Me Hanging On by Kim Wilde at number 2, and Take My Breath Away by Berlin at number 1? Which year?
1987.
Oh, it's 1 year out.
Oh, 1 year out.
It was 86. 86. In which year did these 3 songs all reach number 1? Get Down by Gilbert O'Sullivan, Young Love by Donny Osmond, and Angel Fingers by Wizard.
I'm going to say 72.
Oh, it's 1 year out. Oh, 73. I'm very sorry. Very sorry. In which year were these 3 songs all new entries on this week's top 40? Song 2 by Blur, Halo by Texas, and 18 Till I Die by Bryan Adams. Which year?
96.
Oh, it's 1 year out! 97, I'm afraid. 97. In which year did these 3 songs all reach number 1? Like a Prayer by Madonna, Belfast Child by Simple Minds, and Eternal Flame by the Bangles.
1988.
Oh, 1 year out, I'm afraid. It was 89. 89. Yeah. Very bad luck. In which year did this week's top 3 have Papa Don't Preach by Kelly Osbourne at number 3, Got to Have Your Love by Liberty X at number 2, and The Tide is High, Get the Feeling by Atomic Kitten at number 1? Which year?
2003.
Oh, it's 1 year out. I thought after you stopped at 19s, I thought you were going to get it. But 1 year out. 2002 it was. Bad luck. In which year were these songs all new entries on this week's top 40? Spitting Games by Snow Patrol, Some Girls by Rachel Stevens, and See It in a Boy's Eyes by Jamelia.
Oh, it's one of two. It's going to be a year out. 2005.
It's 1 year out! Oh, really? It was 2004. I'm very sorry. Okay, in which year did these three songs reach number one? Viva La Vida by Coldplay, Greatest Day by Take That, and Mercy by Duffy.
2009.
1 year out! Oh, no.
Oh, no.
2008. Oh, dear, the pain. We shared it with you. Right. In which year were these three songs all new entries on this week's Top 40? Dancing on the Ceiling by Lionel Richie, Find the Time by Five Star, and Fight for Ourselves by Spandau Ballet.
87.
1 year out again! 86. Oh, terrible luck. Bad luck. In which year did this week's top three have The Banner Man by Blue Mink at number 3, I Did What I Did for Maria by Tony Christie at number 2, and Chirpy Chirpy Cheep Cheep by Middle of the Road at number 1?
About 72, is it?
Oh, 1 year out.
Never.
71. 1971. Very bad luck. In which year did this week's top three have I Surrender by Rainbow at number 3, Vienna by Ultravox at number 2, and Shut Up Your Face by Joe Dolce Music Theatre at number 1?
1980.
Oh, 1 year out. I'm afraid I'm sorry. 1 year out. 1981.
Oh, dear.
In which year did these three songs all reach number 1? Sunny Afternoon by the Kinks, With a Girl Like You by the Trogs, and Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones.
67.
Oh, 1 year out again. Oh dear, 66. I'm so sorry. Bad luck.